Welcome back to Don Odell's Legends interview series. This is the Devil DJ here in Boston once again, and tonight we're very, very fortunate to have a legendary drummer, not only in the rock and roll world, but particularly in the blues world, from Beverly, Massachusetts now, Joey Pafumi. Hello, sir.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. So, in transparency, we've finished up the show already.
Yeah.
With a new band.
Yeah, new band, brand new.
So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that first.
Sure.
You got to tell the audience, how long did you guys rehearse before you did an hour and a half show?
We rehearsed for about half hour, 45 minutes.
Beautiful. I mean, this is the professionalism, I guess, that you and Bobby and Steve have. So it was a great show. So,
thank you. We had a blast up there.
Oh, it was great.
Audience is great.
Yeah.
All the crew and everybody here is just fantastic.
Well, and this is also your first time at Don Odell, so
yes.
welcome, sir. This is
great.
great.
Yes, great to be here.
Honored to have you. Honored to have you.
Great to be here.
Well, one thing we wanted to talk about and kick off a little bit is you had been the drummer with Paul Nelson. And of course, in March, Paul passed, and if you wanted to talk a little bit about that,
sure.
Obviously you knew him well.
When I was out on tour with Walter Trout, I was playing drums for Walter Trout, and Paul Nelson was Johnny Winter's guitarist, road manager, best friend, and we would crisscross the world basically together. We did all these festivals all over Europe together and in the States. And I would talk to Paul, as a good friend even back then, We'd be on the same bill and we'd spend time and talk. And, man, we got to put something together someday,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we lost Johnny in 2014. I left Walter in 2008. And I got a call from Paul Nelson. What are you doing? I says, man, I'm just, I'm looking to do something. Send me a set list, And he sent me the set list, and I just said, when do we leave? That was great. And one of the first gigs we did was with Peter Rivera, backing Peter Rivera of Rare Earth, drummer, singer extraordinaire, and one of my mentors. And backing Anna Popovic. So we had to learn Peter's book, and we had to learn Anna Popovic's book, and we played Jamaica. And we had 5 nights in Jamaica, and it was absolutely a blast.
Yeah, pretty good opening gig.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, at the Sea Beach resort. It was just fantastic. Yeah.
And then how long did you play with Paul?
I was with Paul 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Well, sudden death, obviously, and
it was really sudden. We had played 2 shows in North Carolina and 1 in South Carolina, and we were actually on our way down to Florida. And he had a major widowmaker heart attack and succumbed right there on our way down. It was really frightful, sad. Lost a best friend, great guitar mate, he was just absolutely a great guy to go on the road with and travel with and talk with, and we stayed at each other's houses. And
It's been great to see the tributes to him, though, and how respected he was.
Yeah,
in the
he
industry.
was absolutely
And it's not
amazing.
a bunch of BS. You can tell people
No.
really felt.
Paul was a serious musician.
Yeah.
Grammy Award winner, of course, and amongst other awards. Amazing producer. Joe Louis Walker. I mean, the list goes on and on. The artists he produced.
Some of the other artists you have played with. So
Sure.
Walter, obviously.
Yeah, Walter is with Walter
recorded
7
and
years.
toured.
Yeah.
I believe is that you recorded in the studio and obviously.
Yeah,
toured with
absolutely.
him.
Yeah, I believe I did 3 CDs and a DVD we recorded called Relentless in Amsterdam, Holland, and 2 CDs as well. Yeah, and 1 year we went out as a 3-piece, and we have a CD as well called The Trio.
Yeah. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Obviously,
love Walt.
he had his health scare and
He sure did.
roared
Yeah.
right through it. And
Yeah, he's
you know,
he's back.
and he's back.
in
He's
good health.
still torn, which is
Good guy.
great.
Yeah.
One of the questions I have to ask as well is this 80. I know you did blues originally.
Yeah, I started with Jeff Tanzer, which was
yeah.
remnants of Luther Johnson's band.
Geez, yeah,
Who was
okay.
Muddy's guitar player in
Yeah.
the 50s.
Yeah.
And I started out with that remnants of that band. He had just passed on. He passed on in the Boston area.
Mm.
And there was still a few more gigs, and I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh my goodness.
And I started off in a really good blues band,
I
the
guess
Fast
you
Fingers
did.
band with Jeff Tanzer.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Boy, having to learn your chops real quick.
I
guess.
did, man. I was playing with guys quite a bit older than me. And,
Yeah.
they ended up going on the road, and I had to finish high school.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of
But that was a good way to learn some stuff and get my feet wet
I bet.
at a young age of 16.
What a way to get your feet wet too. I actually didn't know that story. That's a great story.
Yeah, there you go.
How did you end up in the XYZ band?
Well,
Which is
I
pretty
had
big,
played
obviously.
New England with the incredible two-man band. We were a two-piece, a lot like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but it was keyboards and drums with Mick Sparrows. Mick Sparrows now has a lot of history. He was originally in a band with Bob Margolin in 1967 called The Freeborn, and they were a psychedelic band out of 1967. Him and Bob Margolin and Mickey Sparrows went to college together and grew up together. And Bob Margolin ended up with Muddy, and Mickey Sparrows started the incredible two-man band. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that was around New England.
that was around New England.
So I played
Yep.
around New England for quite some time. After the incredible two-man band, I played with Joey Caron, Bob Conti, and Steve Bigelow in a band called Touch. And we toured New England with that for a while. And I got the opportunity to go and audition in LA with a band called XYZ. And Bill Lorden was the drummer, who was the drummer for Robin Trower before me. And people from Zildjian mentioned that, that might be a good situation to check out. And I ended up checking it out, and I ended up in LA for 25 years.
Yeah. It's a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Self-expanding.
was a great
Lakers.
time to go to LA and, the hard rock, the melodic rock, metal was out, and it was really an amazing music scene at that time.
Yeah. You guys, that band got pretty big.
Yeah,
I mean,
released an album on Enigma and then one on Capitol, and I still work with the original guitar player, Bobby Piper.
Oh.
And we recorded, I think we got 5 songs in the can at the moment, and he's doing his own project called XYZ Revisited. And so I still work with Bobby.
It's a small
He's a
world.
great guy, great guitar player.
Yeah, that's great. Now, so XYZ, you do
Yeah.
that for a while,
Yeah.
and then you just.
And you
said,
know what
yeah,
happened? I'll
yeah.
tell you what happened.
Yeah.
The music changed,
Okay.
and Nirvana came out, and grunge came out,
Yeah.
and it changed the whole continuity of music,
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, well, I want to earn a living at this. The melodic rock was kind of fading out, and I thought to myself, well, I'll go back to what I started doing, is playing blues, and see what's out there. Well, as I did that, my friend Alan Mericatani from the Buddha-Heads
Yeah.
contacted me and said, Joey, what are you doing? At the time, he was called B.B. Chung King and the Screaming Buddha-Heads. And that would have been around 1995. And he called me up and I said, Al, let's do it, So I got my blues chops back in my brain, and we started, and I was with the Buddha-Heads from about 95 till I went to Walter Trout in 2000.
Yeah, that's
So I
great.
spent 5 years with Alan Mericatani and the Buddha-Heads.
Yeah. And coming back to the blues.
It was
you
wonderful.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's been great for me. I've been able to keep busy and earn
Good.
a living and
Good.
play with some of the best guitar players
isn't
in
it
the world.
incredible? I say that to
Yeah.
everybody, but I see these people, and
Yeah.
they have their talent, at Gillette Stadium. But I'm like, what we
Yeah.
just witnessed here, blows
I
all
just
that
added another one of the most legendary guitar
Exactly.
players on the planet.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, Bobby, you know,
Yeah. Hanging around with Stevie
Massaro, I
Ray
mean,
Vaughan back
just
in the day.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Bobby Massano's wonderful,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And Bobby Massano played on one of my most favorite songs, "Take You Into the Night" by Benny Mardones.
Okay.
And that song was just a big part of my musical love of music.
Yeah.
And there he is.
And there you are. Now you get to play
I
with
get
him.
to play with him.
Now you're out on the road for about the next 6 weeks. I
Yeah, we're
guess,
going to
yeah?
be out for a while. We got work all the way through next year.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
And now what are the birds going to do in Beverly with nobody to watch them?
Oh, my friend Lisa's going to take care of the birds.
Oh, Lisa's
Yeah.
going to take care
Yeah,
of the
there you
birds.
go.
Okay, very good, very
Yeah.
good. Well, fabulous to meet you.
Yeah,
Welcome
thank
to
you.
Don Odell's for the first time.
It
We'll
was
have
a
you back
blast.
for sure.
It's still a blast. I haven't left the building yet.
Yeah, yeah, this is
Joey
true.
Pafumi has not left the building yet. And you know, my whole family is from Springfield.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
should
yeah.
add that.
Yeah, you definitely. And your cousins, a couple cousins were here.
And I got a short, quick thing I want to say about
Yes.
Taj Mahal, who grew up in Springfield.
Yes.
Well, Taj grew up on Monroe Street in downtown Springfield. My family grew up on Eastern Avenue. So my family basically grew up with Taj Mahal,
Wow.
next door to one another.
Yeah.
So Taj is a very near and dear friend of mine,
Did
and my family.
growing up next to him influence you with the blues? Did that kind
Well, what I will say is my father was the only one that moved away from Springfield around 1950, and I was born later on.
of? Okay.
But Taj
Yeah.
grew up where my dad grew up
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
his childhood home, you
Yeah.
know. So the Pafumi family, and what's really funny is Taj Mahal's real name is Henry Frederickson.
Ah.
And my Uncle Jimmy, who, you know, worked for White Trucks, and says, you know, we have a Springfield guy that's, you got to check out Henry Frederickson, you know,
Yeah.
Henry Fredericks. I says, well, I'll see if I can run into him someday. Well, to make a long story short, I'm in Berlin, Germany with Walter Trout.
Yeah.
We check in the same hotel as Taj Mahal.
Ah.
Taj Mahal's sitting there, and we started talking. He listened to my accent. He says, where are you from?
Oh.
I says, I'm from the Boston area. He says, well, I'm from Springfield. I says, well, all my family is from Springfield. And he looks at me funny. He says, what's your name? I says, my name is Joey Pafumi. He says, I grew up right the next street over from your family on Eastern Avenue. I grew up in Monroe Street.
Yeah.
So,
Small world.
It's a
You got to
small
go to
world.
Berlin to meet him, but
yeah, I had to go to Berlin to meet Taj Mahal. But that's my most favorite story.
It's a great. That's
Yeah.
good.
That's a good one.
How cool! How cool! That,
I know.
So that was the first time you had met
Yes.
him in Germany.
But he influenced my playing as well. I
Sure.
learned how to play a shuffle to, you're going to need someone on your bond. And so the connection was already there, you know.
I love it. Well, we loved having you. We
Yeah.
loved your high cymbals.
Thank you.
I think that was the first here.
That's
at
just
Don
the way I
Odell's.
set up.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's the
it
way
was
I
awesome.
set up. Yeah.
It was fabulous. So
I
thank
had a
you.
blast.
Thank you. We
Thank
had, we had
you.
a blast having
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Absolutely.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you very
us.
much.
All right.
Thank you once again for
Thank you.
tuning in to Don Odell's Legends and our interview sessions. We will see you next time. Thank you.